Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. In this one, outside of the park, as you can see. And yeah, in this one, we're going to be talking about what a narcissist really thinks of you when you finally leave. Because of course, sometimes, especially with COVID narcissists, they don't give so much away. And so you don't really know what they're thinking. You don't really know what's going on in their minds, how they feel about you, how they are seeing you. And even with overt narcissists, when they come out and they start insulting you, devaluing you, degrading you, as you're on your way out the door, it makes you wonder, are they just angry? Is this really how they feel? Is this really what they think of me? Because of course, you may remember before, they were acting very differently towards you. So you may wonder which one is the truth. Do they actually really like you in general? And is it just because they're losing control of you, they can no longer dictate your actions? Maybe that's what they don't like. Maybe that's just what they're angry about. And other than that, they still think of you in a good way. So it may make you wonder about these things, which one is it? What do they really think of you? And yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So give it a like if that sounds good to you, and let's get into it together. Let's explore exactly what is going on, exactly how they think of you. But first, let me say this. I can tell you that narcissists don't really care so much what you think of them. We are mirrors to narcissists, and it's all about just distorting the reflection, molding it into whatever they want to see about themselves. So they're not really worried about what you're thinking, what you're feeling about them. It doesn't really matter. It's not a concern. And that's how you gradually just lose touch with your own autonomy. It's like it no longer has any meaning to you anymore. So this is how this happens, because they don't value any of that in you. But yeah, let's get into it, because I'm sure many of you may have witnessed the arrogance, the audacity when you are leaving a narcissist, when you've got one foot out the door. They feel that loss of control. They feel that you are threatening their false reality. So some of them may come out and say, after everything I did for you, this is how you repay me. And it may just seem like such a warped mindset to you. And you may wonder, is this really how they think? Do they really underestimate everything that I just poured into them? Everything that I already gave to them? Did none of that even matter to them at all? Did they really not even feel anything? Did it not mean anything to them? It may make you wonder about that, because you may still have some level of awareness. You may not be completely gaslighted. So you may recognize, hold on a minute, I did give a lot. There was a lot of value there. What I gave to you, even a fraction of that, could have entirely upgraded someone else's life. So you may still be somewhat grounded in reality enough to realize that. And This is typically why they come out in that way. This is why they explode. They get so angry. When they see you leaving, when they know that they're losing control. So they have to come out and be like, how dare you leave me? How dare you think that you can just walk away? As though you don't owe me anything. Because they don't ever have to feel like they owe you anything. And what you've got to remember with narcissists is that there is always a duality. I do realize that there's a lot of people coming to this area. So I'm going to walk over to it. And the parts. Let's see if I can go over here. Okay, there's not too many people here yet. So for a certain amount of time, I should be able to stay by here. But yeah, back to the message. Back to what matters to all of us, you know. What are they really thinking of you when you finally leave? So yeah, they appear to double down and they just make it out like, how dare you leave them? It's like you have no rights. It's like they're the ones who have done so much for you. They were the ones who were there for you in their minds, and that's how they want to make you think. And it makes you wonder, you know, do they genuinely believe this? Do they really think that they're so good to you? That they're really of benefit to you and they're providing so much value to you? Do they actually believe that in their minds? And do they really believe that what you're giving, what you're providing, it's worth this so little? Do they really believe that? And also it may make you wonder, you know, how come if I gave this to someone else, it means so much more? And yet they don't even feel anything. They're not even grateful for it. And yet you think about it and you know that no one's going to tolerate the things that they did to you. No one's going to put up with that. And so just these ideas that you have in your mind, it kind of combats the gaslighting and keeps you grounded in reality, which of course is what we want. But yeah, what you got to understand with narcissists is that there is always a duality. There's something that they throw out there. There's something that they tell you. And this is actually, believe it or not, it's a defense. Everything that they're doing is only just an adaptation to a hostile environment in childhood. And that's why many of them, they come across as so anxious. And it's like the process in the minds is, okay, my reality feels threatened now. I've got to come up with something. And it's got to be something different. It's got to be the opposite of whatever I feel threatened by in this moment. And so they come out with an attack because they feel like they're being attacked and they're in a defensive mode. And this is why, you know, they'll come out with these statements like, after everything I did for you, this is how you repay me. And you're looking at it like, where is this coming from? Well, I'll tell you where it's coming from. It's coming from insecurity. It's coming from something that they're insecure about, so now they're trying to control the narrative and make it about something else other than what they're truly insecure about, which is what they do have some level of awareness of at some level, which is that they know that they've just been using you and that they haven't done anything good for you. They know that they have been abusing you for such a long time and just draining the life out of you. They do know that at some level, and this is how they They come out with these statements with such audacity. And you look at it like, why is it so explosive? Why is it so extreme? And the entire time before that, everything may have been okay. You may have been on good terms with them. And this just suddenly comes out of nowhere. And that's just it. It's coming from insecurity. And this is why they can't stand it when you do move on, when you do leave, and when you start to heal. Because it all just becomes a reminder to them of just how much better you are than them. And especially after you came in and you tried to do everything you possibly could to help them. And then you go off and then they see that things are gradually getting better for you. But nothing ever got better for you when you were around them. You were just being beaten down. You were gradually being deteriorated, which they try to deflect onto you. They try to make it about how you're not good enough. But it's like, hold on. So you couldn't fix them, but you can go off and improve yourself. And in such a short period of time, things can get better for you. And of course, that then reveals to them, it reminds them that they are the problem and that they were the problem all along. So this is why, they have to rewrite the narrative in their minds. They have to tell themselves, you'll come back at some point. You always do. They have to convince themselves that you're not good enough on your own. No one would want you. No one's going to care about you. And the best that you can do is with them because they're so wonderful. Because you're meant to see it as a privilege just to be around them. Because of the fantasy character. So this is what they tell themselves in their minds. And you've got to think, why are they so sure about it? There's no real logic or reasoning behind it. It's all just their emotions, which are out of control, unstable. And of course, it's because they're insecure about it. Deep down, they're probably thinking, will you come back? Come back for what? Because they already know the harm that they have caused you. They know that they're no good for you. They know they're not helping you, encouraging you. And they're just depleting you. So deep down, of course, they feel inadequate. They feel worthless. And that's why they tell themselves and they tell you, you will come back. You always do. And of course, the only reason why you came back before was because you were still susceptible to the manipulation. You had hope in them, believing that they could be better, believing that they could improve. But yeah, if there's one thing they can't stand, is when you don't feed into their reality. Because remember, they're very insecure about the very things that they put forth for you. They're very insecure about it, and that's why they come at it in such a obnoxious way, where they just force it onto you and they just accept you to accept whatever they feel, because there's no logical reason into it. It's just whatever they feel in that moment, which is really just a defense about how they really feel about themselves. And this is why, they hate it when you're silent, when you're not reacting to it. What they need more than anything is your validation. Because they know, at some level, you clearly believe in yourself enough to where you thought that you could help them. And that's how it all becomes about you not being able to help them. And then when you just give up on them, when you realize that, yes, they are a lost cause, and you part ways, you leave the narcissist, and you go silent, your silence really feels like an attack on their reality, because they need you to prop it up. But yeah, once you've left, and if they know that you're not coming back, they just got to convince themselves. And they may even say to you, I never really needed you anyway. And again, it's like the audacity, because you look back and you remember just how needy they were and how much they extracted from you, how much you lost. So again, it's kind of like the arrogance, the audacity, and just a delusion, you know, a complete detachment from reality. It's just so contradictory, it doesn't make any sense. And you may be thinking in your mind, you know, all right, if you never needed me, why didn't you give back everything you took from me? And, you know, that's typically when, if you do say that to a narcissist, they're going to become more antisocial, because that's going to be taken as an attack on their false character. So then they'll just typically come out and just humiliate you with that. And just be like, yeah, you know, I got this from you, didn't really need it, but it's mine now. And like, what are you going to do about it? Kind of mindset. So that's what they will be like. Even if you do keep on them with that, they'll just become more antisocial. Because they haven't got the strength, they haven't got the power to come back into the light, into authenticity, into accountability. They haven't got the strength or power to do that. So yeah, despite everything they've done to you, how much they've used you, how much they've taken from you, they'll just tell themselves and you, I never really needed you anyway. And then they will immediately look for someone else to fill the void. Someone else to validate this fantasy character of them being so wonderful, of them not needing anyone. But then they also have to go out and make sure that everyone sees you as the crazy one. Because of course, you know, they understand at some level that their mindset is so contradictory, it doesn't really make sense. Because it's all just in their feelings. So then they got to go out and make everyone believe that you're the one who's crazy. After they have destabilized you, after they've drained the life out of you, now they've got to go and make everyone think that it's all you. And that's so many of you may experience the character assassination, the smear campaigns, just trying to ruin your reputation completely. So that you don't have any support, you don't have any connections, you don't have anyone who's there for you. And, you know, after everything they've done to you as well, it makes it very difficult for you to get back on your feet and continue with your life. And of course, that's what they want. They don't want you to go off with everything that you are, everything that you have, with people who love and support you and encourage you on doing that. They don't want you to go off in that direction just so that you can prove them wrong. Just so that you can prove that they were the problem all along. They're the crazy ones, they're the abusers. Of course, no narcissist wants you to do that. And this is why, you know, they treat you how they do. They sabotage you, they turn people against you. Because they want to maintain their false reality. And you have become a threat to that. just by you holding on to your own autonomy, just by you waking up and realizing that you deserve better than that. You deserve love, you deserve respect. You don't deserve to be abused, you don't deserve to be completely ruined like that. So yeah, this is it, your strength challenges the lie they told themselves about you. And sometimes this can happen. This is a real thing with a narcissist. Some narcissists. And it can become a really big problem, is that at some point they may have genuinely believed these things about you. They may have believed that what you were doing was just an act. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't real. That you were manipulating them. That you were out to get them and they had to get you first. And then they later realize that you are genuine and that they were just telling themselves a lie. But typically, once they burn the bridge and the damage is done, most narcissists, even those that are grandiose and very powerful, they may try and pull it back in. They may try and recover the relationship with the power that they do have, but typically it's very difficult to reverse it. Because narcissists, to save their own reputation, they really like to run people into the ground. So it's very difficult for them to recover that. And that's why they typically double down. And they will just go all out to just destroy your reputation completely. And also to disassociate from you. To no longer identify with you. And instead to go off and play the victim and act like, especially covert narcissists, they'll be like, I tried to do everything I could for them. I tried to help them. But they just weren't having it, they wanted to be a problem. They wanted to harm me. And, they become a problem in my life. So they try and justify it. They make it out like, this is what they had to do. And so there's really this duality to it. Deep down, they still idealize you. They recognize the light, the authenticity that you have. They do see that, but they can't accept it. Because it's like, what does that say about them? And so all of these statements that they tell themselves and to tell you, all of these lies, all of these manipulations, it's all really just to convince themselves of something that isn't true. And that deep down they know isn't true about you. Because really they know you're not crazy. They know you're not a bad person. They know that the type of person you are, they picked you for that reason. They know that you're a very kind, giving person who just tried to do the best that you could for them. But no matter what you did, it was never good enough because they're the ones who are broken. At some level, they do realize that. And of course, again, that makes you a perfect target for a smear campaign. Because they know that you're just going to blame yourself, many of you, and you're just going to try harder to prove to everyone that you're not the person that they think you are. And that's exactly what they want you to do. And they've got everyone lined up thinking, when you're going out and you're trying to prove that you're not like that, it's just got you looking even more suspicious to everyone. And then people are just thinking, the narcissist told me they were crazy. And just look at what they're doing. Because it can appear that way sometimes, with a narcissist. When narcissists are insecure about something, they try and prove that they're actually a good person. But also, this is what victims do as well. It's called the fawning response. So they can really get you with that. And this is why, many coaches and therapists say the best thing to do is to stay silent and let your character demonstrate who you are. But also recognize, many of us, we idealize people. And many of these people, they're really not even serving you. Because think about it. Who in the right mind is going to turn against someone? They don't really know who they are, or they've heard something about them and they don't really know them. Who in the right mind is going to do that? I'm sure any of us, the first thing we would think, if someone came to us and told us something about someone that we know, we're going to want to go and hear about it from them. We're going to want to go and ask them about it. It's like, let me hear it from the horse's mouth. But that's just it. People who are narcissistic, they don't do that. They don't think that way. And it's all just about validation, control, and superiority for them. So it's better that they double down. It's better that they just don't ask too many questions about it. And typically it doesn't matter, how much you try to prove anything to people, how much you try to make things better. They don't want things to be better. Deep down they know that they're the problem. And they're just lapping it up, all of the attention that you're giving them. The way they are trying to fix something that isn't even a problem for them. Something that they don't even care about. But yeah, to summarize this, what do narcissists think of you when you finally leave? They start to re-idealize you. That's what they do. They idealized you at the beginning. They viewed you as perfect. That's what drew them to you. And then gradually, as they got around you and they began to deplete you, and you began to see through their mask, that's when they began to devalue you. And then, of course, when you escape from their grasp again, when you're no longer within their clutches, then they start to idealize you again. And it kind of excites them in a way, when they're pursuing you and trying to tear you back down again. It's kind of exciting for them. It's a thrill. They enjoy the chase. Just as they did in the beginning, where they initially hunted you down. But now it's more about just regaining that control and not letting you show them up. Not letting you reveal who they really are. So this is what they think of you when you finally leave. It's naturally, of course, they're going to have you back up on the pedestal again. Because they know that they were no good for you. They know that they wronged you. They couldn't sustain you. And you were just given and given to them. And no matter what you gave or did for them, it didn't make them any better. And yet it was good for you, what you were doing for yourself. And this is why they become very jealous, possessive, controlling, even after you leave them. They don't want you going anywhere. They don't want you meeting anyone. It's like, what? Just so you can be a reminder again of how I just can't be happy with anything. That's how they think. of how they just destroy everything that tries to help them. Try going in this corner. I don't think anyone will join me here. So yeah, they do start to see you as ideal, perfect again. Once you distance yourself from them, and you're being silent, and that's when they go back to pursuing you, either to re-idealize you, love bomb you again, or just to try and control you so that you don't show them up, you don't intimidate them, make them feel insecure. Because of course they don't want to be reminded of the rotten, worthless person that they really are. And that's really what this comes down to. It's like, let me live in the fantasy. Let me just pretend that I'm something even when I'm not. That's how they're thinking. So, yeah, deep down, regardless of what they're showing to you, regardless of what they're telling you, deep down they still kind of care and kind of idealize you. They're just trying to convince themselves. Because if they can't get you the way that they did before, then it's like they at least just want to believe that you're no good. But that's just it. Clearly they don't believe that, because why keep pursuing you? Why try to affect your life if they don't think anything of you? But if something's no good, if something's garbage, you just want to let it go. You just want to forget about it. But they're not thinking that way with you. No, once you leave them, it's all about control, sabotage, isolating you, stopping you from getting away, stopping you from becoming better. Because they do view you as something ideal. And this is why they become that way. Because I can tell you, a grandiose narcissist who has tons of options, they're not going to care. They're not going to lose any sleep over you leaving them. They're not going to be bothered about it. They're not going to care to sabotage you, nothing. Because people who are in a state of abundance, and if there's lots of other people out there like you, with the qualities that you do, they're just not going to care. So this all comes back to you being very special. Your authenticity, the qualities that you possess. And of course it would be, because a lot of people in this world are fake, liars, manipulators. Not you. You did the best that you could for the narcissist. But yeah, I can tell you, no matter how much of your love, energy and support that you pour into that black hole, it's never going to sustain it. It's never going to be enough. And this is why eventually they just turn around and hate you. They project onto you. So yeah, this is how it is with them. Anyway, let me know what you think about what I've said to you. Has this video been good for you? Have you got anything else that you would like to add? Have you got any questions? Drop it in the live chat down below. Let's talk about it together. Kim H says, grandiose narcs just move on. They may try briefly, but they really think you should chase them and apologize for everything. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it really depends though, because some grandiose narcissists, some of them are delusional. They have delusions of grandeur. And others, they are actually grandiose in reality. And so they may become very demanding, and they may feel like, they provided a lot. But that's the thing as well though, because at the beginning, did they make it seem like it was free? Like, this is just what you get. This is what comes with it as a part of you dating them. A good example is sugar daddies and sugar babies, or something similar to that. They can be very misleading about it. And then deep down they're like harboring resentment, entitlement, thinking that now they should have complete possession over you, and it's like you owe them your life. So this can happen sometimes, and this is why you've got to be clear with people about things at the beginning, because narcissists, they like to keep things vague. But yeah, that's typically what the grandiose narcissist will expect, is that you chase them. And sometimes it can be something real. They may actually have something in reality. They may actually be something. That can be the case. But then other times, you've got over grandiose narcissists, and it's really just a delusion in their minds. Like, they're not particularly attractive. They're not really that wealthy. Their job isn't that great. And it's just in their heads. They just think that they're special. Which is kind of funny, because they're all the same as well. John Tracy says they didn't realize it, but the narc smirk tipped me off. I was just thinking, have I video on the narcissistic smirk? And funny enough, I never have. I may have briefly touched on it on some videos, but I've never done a video about it. So that may be something I will do at some point. Because I was just remembering, and I have done a video on the narcissistic stare. That was one I did when I was in Korea. But never the narcissistic smirk. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's the narcissistic smirk. Something where they kind of just smirk at the side of their mouths, and for them it's really just this feeling that they have got you, like they've possessed you, they've owned you, a part of you, they've fused with you in some sort of way, they've tricked you, they've got one over on you. And before that, they were looking at you like you're above them. Like you're better than them. And then they've kind of pulled you down to their level. They've attached to you. They've trapped you. And then they're just thinking in their minds like, yes, I got you. And that's how you see that little narcissistic smirk. But also, as I've spoken about before, I mean, at this point, I've been duped so many times. I've experienced in my life, probably more often than not, I've experienced abuse and manipulation more than I haven't at this point, especially in the last few years. So, and also I've kind of learned that you have to mirror them to survive, because when they can see that you're not thinking the same way as they do, then they feel threatened. They want you to think the same. So I've also noticed as well, you know, not all the time, but sometimes I kind of like identify with the narcissist. And when I see someone hurt, when I see someone in pain, it's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, where it's almost like I almost feel it as they do. And I feel like I almost smirk myself. But this is just from extensive brainwashing over a very long period of time. But in my heart, you know, the feeling is very different. And, you know, of course, I'm not really getting off on someone's pain. It's just because of the brainwashing. But yeah, I thought I'd put that out there because that may resonate with some of you. You know, if you've seen the narcissist in your life and they've done this time and time again, they're constantly bullying, humiliating, smirking at other people's pain or misfortune, it may kind of rewire your brain to some extent. But you know, as Professor psychologist Dr. Ramani has said, an empath cannot become a narcissist, no matter how much abuse they go through. But yeah, at this point I am beginning to stutter a lot and getting dizzy and giddy. So I'm going to call it a day with this video. I'm starting to lose my mind. But yeah, I think this is a substantial amount of information on what the narcissist thinks, you know, when you finally leave them. So, yeah, I hope this video was good for you. If it was, as always, hit the thumbs up button. Let's work together to get this information out there. Support the victims who are going through this. If you're new here, subscribe. And then you will be notified when I go live again, when I upload a new video. If there's anything that you would like to add, your experience, any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. We do have a very supportive community on here. If you would like one-on-one guidance and support on your healing journey, you can book a one-on-one with me. Just go to narcsurvivor.co.uk. And I appreciate your donations, no matter how small. You can donate by going to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. You can also follow me on my Instagram. It's Narc Survivor YouTube. And we do have a new Facebook group. It's called Narc Survivor. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you for joining me again, this time at the park. And I look forward to speaking with you in another live video very soon.